two things, God and the Cats.
Welcome back, guys. Colin Niels, Luke Scott, Pod 65 of Samuelson Sports Talk comes your way right here, right now. And if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe today to the Samuelson Sports Talk on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media outlets. And once again, we are on Spotify. That's right. Check it out. Link in the description. Coming off of Bearcat athletics-wise, you could say it's a rough weekend, but there were some good spots. We'll get to those later on. But, of course, we talk about the elephant in the room. Samuelson Bearcats going to town in Austin, Texas, taking on the number 8 Texas Longhorns and Arch Manning. And let's just say, Luke, I could be sad, but I got 1.5 million reasons to not be.
It's a great way to look at it. You know, obviously you hate to lose, but
I'm sorry, I can't
keep
in my laughter.
Games.
I can't keep in my laughter.
It's just one of those games that, okay, take the check and walk away and say, you know what, we got paid, so we'll move on. You know, we'll take what we can from it, and hopefully now we're moving into our true conference season.
Well, yeah, you know, it's interesting, you know, for college sports, you know, it's one season, technically speaking, but you have 3 seasons in a way. You have your non-conference season, and then you have your conference season. And if you do well in pretty much both of them, if you can, you get to play in the 3rd season, which is your playoffs, your postseason whatsoever. So Sam Houston didn't exactly play well in the first part. I mean, they still have one more non-conference game, which is in Corvallis, Oregon, to take on the Oregon State Beavers, but we don't have to worry about that till November. Right now, it is full-on conference play. Bearcats are starting to start the season 0-4 for the first time since, as we all know, 2023. They also got shut out by the Longhorns 55-0. It's the first time that they've been shut out since their first FBS game against BYU up in Provo, Utah, to open said 2023 season. It ends I believe a 22-game streak of the defense forcing a turnover, as of course, as we all know, Arch Manning and that Texas offense shredded the Bearcat defense. The offense couldn't get anything going whatsoever. They didn't even get their first down of the game until the last drive of the first half. As you all know, I was at the game, so I was sitting in the press box. I saw it all happen. But Luke, you were sitting at home. Just kind of, what did you see from this game, and what has it have you feeling coming out of it? Now that we've had a few days to kind of digest what we saw.
Yeah, you know, first and foremost, I think we kind of understood what we were getting into, and it was kind of exactly what I predicted this game to be, and I feared it. That this was going to happen, but it was going to be look, Arch Manning has figured it out. Yeah. Texas puts up 50 points, and you know they look back to like what they were supposed to be at the beginning of the year, and that's kind of exactly what happened. You know, Arch Manning, I thought he kind of came out a little shaky. A couple easy throws, I think, could have been instead of 20-yard gains, they probably could have been 30 to 40-yard gains. But then he kind of settled into his rhythm and obviously scored, I think, 5 total touchdowns. Defense really just couldn't get a stop at all. It was couldn't really find a way to get after him. They got 1 sack, but wasn't really a consistent pressure. You know, I think Texas did a good job of kind of keeping our pass rush of whatever there is away. You know, I think covering the Texas receivers was just too much for our secondary. A lot of guys were just wide open. It's hard to say like one guy killed us. I mean, like obviously, like Wingo had a couple of huge splash plays, but you know, it was kind of death by 1,000 cuts. In that way, it wasn't a true, like, there wasn't a receiver that really killed us. I thought Texas ran the ball very well. We just couldn't. I don't know. It's exactly what the score says it is, right? I mean, 55-0. I'm more just kind of disappointed in the offense. The offense. I mean, I know Texas's defense is top 3 in the country. Could be top 1.
It's on. It
Um,
honestly might be the. It's honestly probably the number 1 defense in the country.
it probably is, and if they're going to make a run, at the playoff and potentially win the whole thing, it's going to be through that defense. And Sam Houston's obviously got the blunt force of that front 4, the linebackers. I mean, that defense is just really good, Colin. And our offense just, I mean, the 1 first down in the first half or 2 first, whatever it was, that was just bad. 6 in total in the entire game, Colin.
Yeah, let me do you one better. 113 total offensive yards to Texas's 607.
Yeah.
There's really no other way you can really feel about this game except I thought Sam Houston was probably gonna at least get a pity field goal or a pity touchdown, but they ended up getting shut out. And I thought that I was kind of the one victory I would have had was if they covered. If they covered. That's about it. But
that was dead in the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I texted my cousin Wesley. Shout out Wesley. I said, "Hey, what do you think about, the points?" And he said, "Yeah, well," so I know y'all aren't very good, but it's really hard giving up, what was it, 40 points or whatever the line was. And I said, "Wesley, this should be a 50-point spread. Like it probably should be a 50-point spread." And yeah, 55. But and I mean, I think kind of early on, I think Sam had a little bit of juice, but some really bad penalties, kind of killed us in that first drive, I think, too. I think there was something you said. If you could get out of your own, side of the field, maybe you could generate at least a score, right? But yeah, just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. Sam Houston does have an opportunity to. Sam Houston has another opportunity next year to potentially do something against a very good big Texas team, Texas Tech next year. I want to try to go to Lubbock, that's for sure, next year. But that's in 2026. We don't have to worry about it. It's 2025 right now. We still got plenty of games to play. 8 more at least. Can I go on? Can I go on a rant here for a minute, Luke?
Yeah.
Listen, I understand. I understand that everyone is upset. Trust me, I understand. And I'm going to mention it one more freaking time. I was there for 2023. Every single game. I had the same frustration as everybody. Trust me. I probably shouldn't have had these thoughts in the first place, but I remember everyone else having these thoughts too at the same time. Fire Keeler, get rid of everybody, and all that stuff. We're not going to make it in the FBS. But then guess what happens next year? We can win 10 games. Now, this is a totally different situation, Luke. Obviously, you lost Keeler to the head coach in Carousel up in Temple, which means that it's going to cause a fallout. And I don't know for certain what the story is with Cassidy, whether I see a lot of people mentioning Cassidy. We should have given him the head coaching job, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But are we sure Cassidy had proven himself at that point to be a head coach? Maybe so, maybe not. But you know what? He probably did. If I remember correctly, I remember one person saying that he did not want to come back. If I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. Maybe he wanted to come. Maybe he wanted to be a head coach. But he's up in North Texas. He took basically all the defense, that damn good defense last year. So it is what it is at this point, and they're doing pretty well. It looks like at North Texas. So good for them. Good for them. Happy for them. So I said that this team could go 6-6. That was my prediction, and that was on the basis of hoping that they at least get one win in non-con, or in the first 4 games rather. And I thought Hawaii was the best shot. Unfortunately, I think with Watson going out with an injury, I honestly think they could have beaten Hawaii if Watson played in that game, because honestly, the big difference in that game, Luke, and it was pretty obvious, was the quarterback play. I see people wanting to fire Longo, and I just don't understand it. These are a lot of the same people that wanted to fire Keeler after the 2023 season, and I, but it's like we have such a unique season in a bad way. You have no home games. You have a coach who got hired late in the first portal cycle where he only had Zach Patterson and only a couple of assistants at one point to start out with because there were issues of trying to get people hired on. And I don't know if it's Longo's fault. I don't know if it's Sam Houston's fault. I don't care whose fault it is, Luke. Either way, it's a tough situation that Longo got hired pretty late and not having a full staff just yet, trying to get things sorted away and all that. The whole defense leaving, trying to bring in all these guys from different backgrounds, from different places. I mean, Luke, a lot of these guys haven't played together before, on defense especially. The offense, we kind of pointed out the struggles of the offense as the season went on later last year, how it was becoming inconsistent, especially the offensive line. And I think there are at times where the offensive line looks good, but anyway, I'm just saying. I just think people are giving Longo a little too much crap. And by the way, guys, coaches lie all the time in press conferences. I don't understand why is it that people want coaches to say what they want them to say? Like, and I'm referring to like some things like this and that and this and that. I'm just tired of people complaining about it. It's just like, just get it. It is what it is at this point. All I'm saying is, do y'all really envy Longo? If y'all really sat back, just look at the facts, look at the situation. Can you really envy Longo? And I've said it over and over again. I don't, because it's tough. What he's doing right now, what he's taking on, it's tough. And I don't want to hear anybody saying that we could have hired someone better. No, we couldn't have. I mean, Longo wanted to come here. He knew what the hell he was getting into with again, no home games, the transition still going on, and the money issues that we could talk for a whole podcast about, and like other stuff that is going on. But all I'm saying is that I just want you to ask yourself, should you really be taking this first year into so much account for all the crap that's been going on? Luke, I'll let you have the floor.
Well, Colin, you definitely have a point. I mean, it's such a tough starting spot, schedule, all the different variables that kind of can go into a head coach's first year. Longo was kind of at the short end of the stick on pretty much everything, right? You're also following up a dream season by a coach who took you to a national championship, who won you a national championship, who got you through this kind of transition period. And I think the transition period is over. Like, now we are completely FBS right now. But when you talk about envy, that spot to be in, that's a tough spot. I mean, this is one of the toughest jobs in America.
Yeah.
Really, due to lack of financial support. That's one thing. You don't have a stadium. The schedule was awful. You barely have any coaches coming into the season. You barely have any players coming into the season. Right? You're missing 10 of 11 starters on one side of the ball. You're missing a solid amount of starters on the other side of the ball. You're losing a ton of depth. And on a plate for you, you're opening up against the conference favorite. You're going to Hawaii.
Week
and
0,
you're going
by
to
the way.
Austin, and you don't have a home stadium. So do with that as you will. you're right. I mean, it's frustrating, no doubt. To see our school, our alma mater, get beat uh, pretty handily now, 4 straight weeks. It's pretty rough. But you got to stay with them. We got to stay with this team. We got to stay with the program. Colin, we're not going to leave. We threw too much money at Sam Houston to leave now. But
yeah, it's a little thing called tuition.
Little is an understatement. But it's frustrating. It really is. But
it is very frustrating.
All you can hope for is they can find a way to maybe turn it around. I think there is one thing that you can take away from this game, and I think this was Fish's best game.
I thought
as a starter.
I thought Fish had a great game.
I think he played.
He played now. Unfortunately, he's in the center of like a conversation now with like the arch flexing on him, which should have been a penalty, by the way. But it wouldn't have mattered.
I got a rant on that.
Okay,
we'll save that for,
okay.
We can say it for later, but
yeah.
No, I think he played fine. And I think we are pretty confident now in saying, you saw Hunter Watts. I know the offense played awful, but I think Coach Longo has been asked this question a couple times, and who is the quarterback one? Who is QB1? And I think I'm with him. Let's just stick with Hunter Watson and see what happens.
Yeah.
But, you're kind of going into this now extended bye week type deal.
Yeah.
And
now and another thing, now he's tackling a thing that he's never done before, which is midweeks. And that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough.
But thankfully, though, he does have that week, like you said, though, to adjust accordingly.
Right, and I'm sure there will be a call to KC. I'm sure there's some communication, kind of asking, hey, what did y'all do in the midweek games? How did y'all prepare, like schedules wise? I'm sure there's still that connection of, hey, what do you think about this? Player council, they talk about the leadership council on this team, and hey, what'd y'all like about last year's prep for the midweek games, and what can we change going into this year? So I'm not too worried about the midweeks, but like that type of schedule. But yeah, I mean, if you could have drawn up the early season to go as bad as it has, this is it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I real quick though, I do want to hear you rant a little bit about the arch flexing.
Okay. Colin.
Okay.
When I'm scrolling the Twitter, right?
Yeah.
After the game, and I see LaShannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, and Johnny Manziel talking about Arch Manning. The absolute last person that should be saying anything about cockiness, act like you've been there. The last person that should be saying any of that is Johnny Manziel. This is the same guy that was throwing up the money signs against Rice, getting suspended against Rice, doing the same exact thing to Sam Houston when he played. And at that time, we weren't even an FBS school, right? We're at that point, you were NCAA, FCS. The last person that should be saying anything about cockiness is Johnny Manziel. And the fact that he's out there saying, oh, you got to be better than that. I'm sure he comes from a point of, I wish I, was a little bit more classy, but I'm sorry. Your whole image was based on swagger. I don't want to hear anything from your mouth. That being said, the only reason why Texas has a school was Sam Houston.
Yes.
First president of Texas.
Yes.
So
yes, exactly.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Longhorns.
Exactly. If it wasn't for Sam Houston in the Battle of San Jacinto, Would there even be a Texas University? Would there even be a Texas A&M? Think about it. Hashtag think about that.
Think about it.
Think about it. You know. But anyway, guys, look, there's 8 games to go. We're gonna discuss in a future pod about what the Bearcats can do to potentially get a few wins, and I don't know. I mean, it's almost impossible to win 6 of your last 8 games, no matter who you are, to try to make a bowl game if you're winless. But can they at least salvage some wins to gain momentum in the next year, like let's say a 2023 team did when they won 3 of their last 4? Who knows? Who knows? We'll discuss that in a later pod, especially when we preview New Mexico State next week or so. Okay, so whatever, you know what? And am I crazy for thinking that? How about you just leave it in the comments below? Just leave it in the comments. Comment below. What are your thoughts on Longo so far? What are your thoughts on the season? Comment below. Subscribe today as well if you haven't already. And hey, and if you want to tag us, give us your thoughts, go right ahead. But be sure you also follow us while you do it, even if it's negative. We'll appreciate a follow, even if it's a negative comment. We'll always appreciate that. And of course, if you're on Spotify listening right now, hit that follow button. So, but yeah, Bearcats 0-4, 55-0 loss to Texas. Nothing really more to say about that. 2 thumbs up, baby. 2 thumbs up. That's what I say to that.
We're still here. We're still here.
And we have 1 point, and we're $1.5 million more richer.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We got hey, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta take the bag and run, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Some updates. For I was hoping that the Bearcats did get out healthy, but unfortunately, it looks like Jameer Diaz is now in a boot on his left foot, ankle. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. Hopefully, it's something that can be healed up over the bye week or almost near 2 weeks. And maybe Matoria, by the way, was not available. It looks like that they were Longo did say on the press conference last week before the Texas game that the QB room is healthy, so they were probably expecting Mabry to be cleared to play before the game. But dang, look, he must have got hit pretty freaking hard if he's not cleared just yet, because he was in street clothes. He was not throwing a football whatsoever. So, concussions are very strange injury. In a way, it's like it affects others differently, depending on who you are. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But as of now,
that's some real analysis. That's some real analysis, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, what else do you want me to say?
Concussions are
concussions.
Ask Antonio Brown that. Okay.
I had a concussion once. Alrighty, so let's get some positive. Let's get some positive stuff now going here. And coming up in the next segment, we'll detail you the positive stuff that happened over this past weekend of Bearcat sports. Volleyball has some momentum, and a freshman got an accolade, and soccer began Conference USA play with a draw. And of course, how about some golf updates, as I just literally received about a few minutes ago. Men's golf began their season up in Nebraska at the Get Her Done Invitational. We'll get to that and more next here on Sam Houston Sports Talk. All right, welcome back, guys. Colin Neal, Luke Scott. Let's get some positive stuff going, because remember, guys, there's more than just football out there, and we're gonna highlight all things Bearcat athletics as we go on. First off, volleyball. Hey, listen, I know it's been it was an interesting last few games there. I mean, they were up on Houston Christian, and they were up 2-0, and then they let Houston Christian came back, but they still won. Then they lost to Georgia State. Man, Georgia State's probably gonna win the Sun Belt, by the way, but who knows? But because they're really good. I mean, I was surprised that they won the first set to begin with against the Panthers, but then Georgia State just won 3 in a row. It's just, wow, unbelievable. But then they pulled off an unbelievable comeback once again for the second weekend in a row. They came back down 2-0 and then came all the way back to win in 5. They did it against Texas A&M Corpus Christi last week, and then did it this past weekend again against ULM. And due to her performance, Luke, Chloe Munson, we've been mentioning her. We've been talking about her. She won Conference USA Freshman of the Week, getting double doubles in 2 of her 3 games. She has at least 20 or more kills in 4 of her last 5 games. Luke, she's just a freshman, but she's looking like a heck of a pickup by head coach Brenda Gray and her staff in this past recruiting cycle.
Yeah, no doubt. It's always good when you get the recognition, of the media, of coaches, players, right, of being selected like she was Conference USA or Conference USA Freshman of the Week. Very, very impressive, to say the least. No, I think the team has played great, Colin. That last one against ULM was awesome because the first set could have gone either way. I think ULM was probably just the better team there in the first couple sets, and Sam Houston just kind of found something there in the third and fourth. And then a tight fifth. They almost 17 to 15. They almost lost the third.
Yeah,
Colin.
they went to extras on that in that set.
And they just kind of found a way. And I think there's going to be some head scratching moments because this team relies on a solid amount of freshmen, right? A ton. But also, I think what comes with that also comes with the flair. And I also think of unpredictability, right? At times it's going to make you scratch your head. Other times you're going to say, wow, like, look at this. And I think that's kind of what came fruition against Houston Christian. I think that you showed against Georgia State, and I think it kind of came back and found something there against ULM. So, obviously, 8-5, very good start to the year, I would say, considering of where this team kind of been for the past few years. And now you're turning into Conference USA play, right? You're going up against UTEP here pretty soon, actually, this week at home, and you're hoping, you can build some momentum, off this pretty good preseason, if you will, preseason.
Yeah, well,
non-conference.
UTEP was a at-large bid last year. And they're really good. They're really freaking good, Luke. I'm on the call for both of those games, actually, Friday and Saturday on ESPN+.
On the Plus?
Yeah, I'll be on the Plus. I've done a couple of games already this year, so I'm pretty amped up and excited to do that because UTEP is a pretty solid program, led by Coach Wallace out there in El Paso. They're really freaking good. So it'll be a huge first test already for the Bearcats to face UTEP. It is interesting what they're doing right now with how much underclassmen there are. I mean, it does help when you have a senior as your setter and Avery Fowler, and it also helps when you have the improvement of some players like a Rochelle Reed, and you have an expert presence in Round Rock native Lauren Malone, who transferred in from Coastal Carolina, and she's been pretty solid on the attack clip side of things, but just the emergence of Chloe Munson just kind of makes this team all the more dangerous. And Shaylin White's been holding it down at the libero side of things. Her first go at it as a full-time in her college career. And you got a couple of other players playing their role and doing it solidly, like an Avery Pruitt and an Audrey Terry seems to be back into play. And she notched 10 assists in that game against ULM and got a couple of kills on her own. And then you have Carly Schluter going in there, getting the experience because she's most likely going to be the one that they're going to go with next year at setter. I mean, there's going to be some competition for that starting setter spot next year, but we don't have to worry about next year. We got to worry about this year because Luke, they want to get back to the Conference USA tournament, Luke, but they also want to win a game there. And next year, if all things go well for next year, this team full of underclassmen are going to be pretty dangerous next year. But like I said, it's going to be, like I said, let's just focus on this year. And heck, Luke, they could probably surprise you, UTEP, and grab a game. And honestly, Luke, if they grab one game, I call that an immediate success so far because, like I said, UTEP's really good. They kept a lot of players from last year. They are led by a good coaching staff. But the fact is, it's a home game. And guys, look, there's no Bearcat football. But hey, listen, there's volleyball out there. They're at home in Johnson Coliseum, 6 p.m. on Friday, 1 p.m. on Saturday. If you have nothing to do, if you don't feel like going home for the weekend, go check out Bearcats volleyball. It's an exciting time, and I don't know if those bleachers are going to be open just yet for volleyball for that game at least. Oh, wait, Colin, you said bleachers.
Spoiler.
Bleachers.
Spoiler.
Oh, I might as well go ahead and say it. Yes, they just now begun the implementation of the bleachers that are going to be right behind the benches for volleyball and basketball. It's really exciting, Luke, because there was a burner account that said it once already, and they said that this basketball season is going to be a movie, and I think it is going to be kind of a movie now that they're going to have fans right behind the team benches.
Obviously, it will look better
Yeah.
in person. It'll look better on the TV too, because it is always kind of a weird shot when you see a bench and you see this big stand with media and then just the other bench. So it will be interesting to see. It'll be different, a little bit different, I have to say. Just being on media row a lot, just on that side of things, but it's for the best. Definitely, like the bleachers will be great to have, and it's as simple as it seems. This is the kind of things that a program needs to build some momentum and to get some more fans in the stands. Obviously, you want to be as close to the action as possible. And as fun as basketball is in person, that's one of those sports that the closer you are, the more you in the game you feel, and it just builds a likingness to the team. That just builds. We both went to games all the time because we enjoy going to the games, not just because we enjoy sports, but we like to be a part of the atmosphere and whatnot, and that will truly help. I think the home field advantage or home court advantage as well.
Oh man, listen, I'm pretty excited for basketball seasons on both sides, and men's basketball actually just started their full practices on Monday. I saw Tobias Bass of the Athletic was actually out there. Might have to hit him up and have a conversation with him because I'm kind of curious what he saw out there with the new guys that have come in for men's basketball and whatnot. But yeah, we are getting so close to college basketball, and I'm honestly already ready for it to be here. College basketball, Luke, is just one of those sports, man. I wish it lasted longer than November, December, January, February, March, kind of into April. I kind of wish it lasted for more than 5 months sometimes because it's a hell of a sport. It's a hell of a sport, and I think it's a sport that is for men's basketball specifically is primed for a huge success in 2025, 2026 season if it goes the way that I'm thinking it will.
It's definitely
man, I tell you what, a tournament appearance would feed families.
You think a tournament appearance is in the cards?
I'm not ready to discuss it further. I'm just saying that an NCAA tournament appearance would feed families. I'm just saying it would feed families for Sam Houston.
I agree. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Coach Mudge, been assistant for a long time. Now he's a head coach on his second year of being the head coach for us. And I think third year. 23, 24, 24, 25, now 26. Colin, no, I'm ready for college basketball to get back to going. College football just started, but like when you're 0-4, you're like, man, like when's basketball coming around? Not saying that we've given up on anyone, but both of us, we both love college basketball.
Oh, we do. All right, let's go to the pitch. Well, as always, Bearcats soccer began their season with a road draw to New Mexico State. They went up 2-0 very very early on, but then New Mexico State kind of clawed back. They've been on an unbeaten streak at home. I think 16 games now for New Mexico State at home. They've been unbeaten. So once again, not on the sidelines is Kendall Ayers, head coach Kendall Ayers. I have heard though that she may be back sometime by Louisiana Tech, which is this weekend. Although I'm not really too optimistic right now about it, because it is the fact that I got told that she had her baby sometime last week. I just don't know. I mean, if she does, great, but honestly, it's just like it's gonna be tough. It's kind of close right now. It's this Sunday. Louisiana Tech, which is also her, ironically speaking, her alma mater, where she played soccer.
It is.
So, but I don't know. There's some. Honestly, I mean, win, draw. At least it isn't a loss. I mean, I know draws are very un-American, to say the least. So, I'm at least glad that it didn't begin with a loss. I mean, going on the road either way is kind of tough.
Because it was childbirth, Colin, I'll give her a pass on this one. I'll give her a pass.
Don't twist my words now. Come on, don't twist my words.
No. That's not what we're saying. Like, obviously, like that's more important. So do what you gotta do. That's fine. But no, a 2-2 draw, Colin. We think about draws, man.
They are un-American. I'm just kidding. I
hate them. I kind of hate draw. I mean,
you wish there was a winner. You wish there was a winner and loser. Hopefully, we're on the winner side. But it's the history of the game. There's nothing you can do. I love soccer. I could really care less. I just joke that they're un-American. I really could care. I really wish
another goal though by Tiana Johnson.
Yeah, and Kelsey Villatoro with her first goal of the season. So it's I mean, it is either way. I do wish that they did go off of a point-based system like it did in Europe instead of winning percentage. It would at least make things a lot more interesting. But that's
and clearer on the
standings. Yeah, it would
the rank. Yeah,
it would make it much easier. But hey, listen, guys, soccer with all the circumstances they're going through right now, I'm honestly pretty impressed with what they're doing right now. And listen, Kendall Ayers also coming in. The transfer portal in soccer is not exactly like popping. It's not like a football or a basketball or a baseball or whatever, all the other sports where the transfer portal is pretty active and whatnot. But the fact that she came in, she rallied the troops. She brought in her own players as well, intaking some freshmen as well. And just the fact that she was able to unite and like get all these players together and play as a team, and look what they're doing right now. I get it. A draw is not something you want to begin your conference season, but it's a road game, and they're primed to like do something this year at least. They might even go and win a game in Conference USA. It's just a matter of fact that can they find consistency on the attacking side of things, not getting in the attacking third, but at least finishing things off, because that was kind of a bit of a problem early on in the season. And then recently, Luke, they're getting this is the second match in a row where they've gotten off to a hot start. So if they continue getting off to these hot starts and being stalwart on defense, they're going to be pretty okay. I think they're going to be just fine.
I think so too. When you get up 2-0, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You'd hope you'd win the game, and a draw is not necessarily the worst thing that could happen. Obviously there's worse, but I think there is a lot to be taken in consideration with kind of how the season started, or how the season has been and starts, and some factors going in. I mean, childbirth. I mean, there's a lot of things that's happened. And now you got kind of a home stretch here, right? In conference, and you never know what one game can do. So, we've been bullish on this team for a long time now, and this program, I guess, really. Um, and I think we've seen the fruits of it come together, and we're scoring goals every game, uh, mostly every game, which has helped. Uh, I think there were some times in previous years where there you go days and weeks without scoring a goal. But the offense is definitely taking shape a little bit better. Um, so we're getting there, Colin. We're getting there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. It's still a long way to go for Sam Houston women's soccer. That's for sure. All right, then to end things real quick here. As we all know, the Bearcats got going on the links recently. Women's golf last week, they finished ninth to begin their season up in Nebraska. Not a good start, but they won. But still, it's the first. It's first.
Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin. But they began the Red Raider Invitational today in Lubbock. What's the golfing scene like up there, up in Lubbock? I don't know if you ever been up there in that way.
Well, I've never played golf in Lubbock, but Texas Tech always has a great team. I think the Rawls course where they're playing is actually a very nice course, Colin, which you would think like Lubbock has good golf. They do. So it's, obviously Big 12. And we all know what the IL situation is at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Oil rich. That's what they would say. But no, I don't really know much about the course or anything. But what I do know is that Texas Tech is always very good, and they have a very good alumni base. Very good golf presence. They're always a factor in the Big 12.
Well, currently the Bearcats are now shooting 31 over par. That is
That's not great.
Texas Tech is 5 over par, but they're in first place. Houston Christian 7 over par. So I didn't know that Houston Christian's got some golf going down there up there, and well, for me it's up there in Houston. But honestly, Luke, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams. 10 teams that are shooting 25 and over par. So it sounds like it's a very hectic course. UTRGV shooting 49 over par, by the way, in last place as a team. Remember, guys, the higher the score, the worse you done. It's the only sport. It's the only sport where the lower the score is, the better you do. Man, but it's honestly probably not fun playing in Lubbock golf wise, because we know the climate up there. It might be kind of strange.
Windy, very windy.
It's very windy. I tell you. Going over to the men's real quick, they began last week at the Bearcat Invitational. They usually begin up there, if I remember correctly. If they usually begin up there in Cincinnati, but they finished 14th as a team. They did end the Invitational pretty good, shooting 4 over par in the final round. But unfortunately, they weren't able to get things going much up there. But they're off to a nice start in the Get Her Done Invitational, a way better start than last time out. They are now in 5th. They're in 5th place right now, currently at the Get Her Done Invitational. So they want to try to get things going. This is a young squad. So it's still so long way to go. But men's golf want to try to repeat as Conference USA champions.
Seeing that they're playing in Dallas here pretty soon, I might have to make an appearance on that Sunday if possible.
We're gonna have a reporter on the ground.
I might try. I might try and see. Try to get some video or something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, they're I'm assuming the Trinity Forest Invitational is what you're looking at.
That is a very nice course. That is one reason I would like to go, just to check it out.
Yeah. That's it, right?
That is a top 10 course in Texas. So
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's not number one. It's no Whispering Pines. Shout out the Pines, but it's very nice.
It is. Whispering Pines is really nice. Of course, you're kind of biased, aren't you?
A little bit.
A little. But yeah, that looks like that's really all that's going on in Bearcat sports that happened positive wise, you know. But guys, if you forgot, but like I said in the first segment, just leave the comment section below. It doesn't have to be about football. Talk about other things. Like, what are you? How excited are you for the upcoming basketball seasons for men's and women's basketball? I know there's been a lot of chatter online about men's basketball as well, because how excited they are. Of course, Lamar Wilkerson was the big storyline with his donation of money from his NIL that he got from Indiana. But man, I will say just real quick, that just tells a lot about the culture that Coach Mudge has built there. And you know, it started with Hooten really, but then it really has built up with Mudge, became more of a story. Especially I mean, Luca, that's really the first public case of that kind. I don't know if we've talked about it on this pod. I don't know if we talked about it. Have we talked about it?
I don't think we did.
Yeah. What did you think of that when you saw it?
But the donation?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, first of all, I was like, that's what it's about right there. I mean, you don't see that very much at all when a guy, and it's not like we were throwing the absolute bag at Lamar Wilkerson, you know, getting over here at Sam, and for him to give it back to the program or show some love back to and appreciation. That it does say a lot about Mudge. It also says a ton about Lamar Wilkerson, the player, the person. Um, we were the ones that took a chance on him in the first place, and obviously it worked out. And he is at IU for a great reason, and he's trying to contend for a Big Ten. And obviously, the standard at Indiana is always to make the tournament and try to get to the Final Four. I thought it was very cool moment that we just don't see in college athletics that much, really much anymore. Which I think is sad to see, but or sad that we don't see it very often. We see a lot of times pros will give back, but we don't see people still in college.
yeah.
Um, so I thought it was very, very unique, um, and heartwarming, and also it shows what college athletics can be, right? And players step and doing the right thing. I'm sure there were some people that told him you don't need to give Sam Houston any money. You gave him 3 years, right, of ball. Uh, but I think what he did was absolutely terrific. Um, yeah, it's one of a kind.
Yeah, Goodman for Phil 68 said it was six figures. So that's I mean, I know Lamar got 3 million, but you know, that's still a pretty good chunk of change. It is still a pretty good chunk of change to give.
Oh,
Maybe this will maybe, and you never know, Luke. Maybe that kind of move inspires kind of some some others to do it. Maybe it becomes a part of of players transferring that schools probably need to give the university they're getting the player from, or any college, like a bit of moolah. I mean, kind of like what soccer does in Europe, like with the transfer portal.
that's exactly what I was kind of thinking. That parallel. Um, as players move from leagues or from team to team, if I play for who's your team, Colin?
Well, it's Sam Houston, but let me give you another example. Let me give you Purdue Fort Wayne.
No, I was talking about soccer team.
Oh, soccer team. Oh, I thought you were talking about college basketball. Plymouth Argyle. It's my team. Plymouth Argyle. Go Pilgrims.
If Colin's playing for Plymouth Argyle and I'm Manchester United, this guy's bagging 1,000 goals a season. Of course, Plymouth Argyle should get some money for him if we're just gonna take him up. So, like, obviously, it was the player doing this, not the school, not Indiana. It was Lamar, but it does give you like interesting prospect. Hey, like, look what this happened with Sam Houston and Indiana and Lamar Wilkerson. maybe this can be more of a real thing.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, things ever changing, especially with, portal NIL still ever evolving, especially now with the passing that there will, for football, there will only be one singular portal cycle, which will be very interesting. And I can't wait to talk about it whenever football season comes to an end, because that could either work for or against Longo's favor when it does come down to it. I don't know. I still got some time. I still want to think about that a little bit more. But anyway, guys, that'll do it for us. I'm calling Neil. That's Luke Scott, the one with the real job. I have no real job. That's why I like to tell people, like, yeah, Luke. I honestly tell people, like, yeah, Luke's got a real job. I don't. That's why he's a little bit better than me. But yeah.
Well, you just don't even say that, Colin. Don't sell yourself short.
No. But we do appreciate y'all listening in as always. 1,100 followers, by the way. I wish we had 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. That would be freaking awesome. I do know
we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working there.
We're at 272 last time I checked on YouTube. We're trying to get to 300. Let's try to get to 300 before basketball season begins. A couple months or so, a little month and a half. We're getting there. Men's basketball season starts November 3rd. At home, by the way, this time. It's the first time since 2021, 2022 season that the Bearcats start at home. And we'll talk. And I have some things about the schedule. I have really no complaints about the schedule. I know some people will kind of complain about the schedule, but I have really no complaints. We'll talk about it in a future pod when we preview men's basketball. So, but anyway, guys, still got a lot of athletics here to go. Still a lot of football season to go. But it's a good time to kind of just sit back a little bit on football before we get into the real stuff, especially with the midweeks of October coming around here pretty soon. But as always, guys, eat 'em up, cats. Two things.